Look, I'll be honest with you. My phone hasn't stopped ringing since the budget was announced recently. People are scared. They're seeing headlines saying negative gearing is dead,
Negative gearing is off the table.
trusts are taxed. If you're sitting at home thinking if you should buy the property or cancel even the thought of buying it, this video is for you. I want you to take a deep breath. Yes, the 2026 budget has changed the game. It's probably the biggest shift in property tax since 1999. But here's the truth. The government may change the rules, but the goal of wealth building remains the same. Today, we aren't just going to look at what the government said. We are also going to look at what they didn't tell you, the mistakes other countries made when they tried to use this before, and the strategies that you can still use to save on tax, which the budget has left open for smart investors. So lock in, as this video might be the most important video you see in your property journey this year. We will look at what changed, what impacts it may have, what happened in New Zealand and even Australia the last time this happened, and 3 ways you can still invest in property without a huge tax bill. If you are new here, hi, I'm Adeal from Ariza Buyers Agency, and we help Australian families build lasting wealth, giving you the freedom to enjoy the life on your terms. Let's talk about the elephant in this budget, the end of negative gearing on established homes. Starting from the budget night, which was 12th of May 2026, if you bought an established property like a house or an apartment, you could no longer offset the losses on that property against your salary. This will come into effect from July 1, 2027. So you have financial year 26-27 where you can still use it. But after that, no negative gearing on established properties. If you bought any property before 12th of May 2026, you can continue to be negatively geared on that one and not be impacted by the changes in the capital gains tax. If you buy a newly built property, only those properties can still be negatively geared even after July 1, 2027. So the new properties seem to be the one where I can imagine most people who love negative gearing will jump in. The 50% capital gains tax discount for assets held over 12 months will be removed from July 1, 2027 and will be replaced by indexation inflation method, originally introduced by Keating and used until 1999. Any assets or distributions under the family trust are now subject to at least 30% tax under the new rule. Check with your accountant for complexities on that, as this is a major change for families who use trusts for distributions. Let's say you are a tradie earning $160,000. You buy a nice 3-bedroom established house. Your rent from the property was $40,000, but your expenses were $48,000. That means your losses were $8,000 a year. The old way, you would take $8,000 off your $160,000 salary. You would get a tax refund of $3,000 roughly back in your pocket at the end of the year. That cash flow help you pay the mortgage. The 2026 way, you don't get the $3,000 refund. Your taxable income stays at $160,000. No refund from the taxman. Notice I said established house. The government actually wants to divert investors to the new builds. So if you buy a brand new property, the old rules still apply. And when you do that, you can still negatively gear against your salary and get the tax refund. Now, before you think that this will crash the market, this is not the first time it has happened in Australia. In 1985, Treasurer Paul Keating did exactly what the government is doing right now. He scrapped negative gearing, thinking it would help solve the housing issue. Can't believe we had a housing issue even back then. Anyway, what happened? Investors stopped buying, but people didn't stop needing a place to live. Within 18 months, rents in Sydney and Perth surged by nearly 25%. It got so bad for the renters that the government had to bring negative gearing back within 2 years by 1987. New Zealand, the 2021 disaster. Our neighbors New Zealand tried that just a few years ago in 2021 when they scrapped interest deductibility, their version of negative gearing. Rents went through the roof. New construction slowed down because of inflation. By April 2025, full interest deductibility had to be fully restored, and the entire experiment that roughly lasted 3 years had to be scrapped just to fix the rental crisis. So how do we pay tax when we sell investment property? For 25 years, we have had the 50% discount. You make $1 million profit, but you only pay tax on $500,000, which is roughly $250,000 at 47% tax rate. From July 2027, that's gone. It's been replaced by indexation. Imagine you buy an investment property in 2026 for $600,000. 5 years later, you sell it for $900,000. So the total profit is $300,000. Under the new rules, the bank looks at the inflation. If everything in the world got 20% more expensive while you owned the investment, the bank says, okay, your $600,000 investment is now worth $720,000 in today's money. So you only pay tax on the difference between $720,000 and the sell price of $900,000, which equals around $180,000 in this example. You don't pay tax on the entire profit of $300,000. So, if the old way of buying an established house and getting tax back is harder, then what do? We believe that these three strategies can still work for most investors. Number one, self-managed super fund. The budget didn't touch self-managed super funds. If you buy under your super, you only pay 15% tax in the first year and only 10% after that. And if you sell at retirement, you pay zero tax. This is now the ultimate safe haven for Australian families. We have previously helped clients secure investments in self-managed super funds, and we believe this will only get more popular. Number two, buying under a business. The businesses are still taxed at 25%. So if you buy a property under a business and sell it after a few years, you may still be subject to a maximum of 25% tax only, which is still much better than giving away 50% of your profits. Now, the last one is the real deal. Did you know that if you move out of your owner-occupier home, put it on rent as investment property, while you start living in a different property on rent, then you may get away with paying 0% tax when you sell this property anytime in the next 6 years? Yes, 0% tax on old principal place of residence, which is now an investment property. I will let you decide what you want to do with this information. As always, this is not a financial or investment advice and does not consider your personal circumstances. So please reach out to your broker and accountant for further advice. If you don't have one, please reach out to us through the link below and we'll connect you with the right one. I know the 2026 budget feels like a slap in the face for many investors. But remember this, Australia is still one of the best places in the world to own land. We have a massive supply shortage, record migration, and a culture that loves property. The government isn't trying to stop you from being wealthy. They are trying to force you to invest in new supply. If you can adapt your strategy, whether that's looking at new builds in good suburbs, SMSFs, or buying under a business, you can still reach financial freedom. In fact, because so many other people will be scared off by these changes, there will be less competition for the best properties. Think of what happened in 2020 and the rally we experienced that boosted some properties by up to 500%. This is your window. Do not miss the chance. As Uncle Warren said, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Click the link in the description to book your call. Let's stop the guesswork and start building your freedom. I'm Adeal, and I'll see you on the call.